Okay, lesson 7 had two different topics. One of them was mixed expressions. And again, that's lesson 7. And as we defined it, a mixed expression is one that has a rational part and a non-rational part. So a part that has a variable in the denominator and a part that does not have a variable in a denominator. So an example here could be something like 6 minus x plus 5 over x minus 1. And the instructions here will usually be something like take this mixed expression and rewrite it as one rational expression. So how do you do that? Well, it helps for starters if you view this 6 as if it's a 6 over 1. Because that gets it viewing it as a fraction, and we're doing that minus x plus 5 over x minus 1. So the problem here is we have a fraction, another fraction, but they don't have the same denominator. So we need to get them so they have the same denominator. So how do you do that? Well, the tool is to take the denominator, this one here, the denominator of your rational expression, and multiply it top and bottom by this. So let's look at what that does. Because here's another way of looking at it. We have a denominator of 1. If we take this denominator of 1 and we multiply it by x minus 1, then this chunk will have a denominator of x minus 1, just like this one has a denominator of x minus 1. So let's look at what that looks like. So times x minus 1. Okay, so our 1 times x minus 1, that'll give this chunk as a denominator, or with the denominator of x minus 1. Let me finish writing this part out. Okay, so yay, that'll get our denominators matching. But keep in mind, this is not like an equation or something like, an equation where we're allowed to do things like multiply both sides by the same value. This is a simple expression, we're simplifying it. So we can only multiply by something that equals 1. And how do you get something that equals 1? Make the top and the bottom of the fraction the same. So an x minus 1 over x minus 1. X minus 1 over itself equals 1. So we're allowed to multiply there. So again, we've taken the x minus 1 in the denominator here, and we multiplied it top and bottom by our non-rational expression. So when we multiply this out, we get 6 times x, 6x. 6 times the negative 1, minus 6 over x minus 1, minus x plus 5 over x minus 1. All right, we have the same denominator. Now we can combine them. So we're going to add, or technically subtract, the numerators. So that will give us 6x minus 6 minus, and we're subtracting this whole numerator. So be careful to keep that whole numerator is what's being subtracted, and that negative will distribute. That gives us over x minus 1, and I'm short on space here, so I'm going to come back up right up to here. So what do we have? We have a 6x minus 6 minus x minus 5 over x minus 1. All right. So what simplifies here? 6x minus x, that's a 5x. Negative 6 minus 5 minus 11 over x minus 1. All right. We should look at it, see, does it look like there's anything we can factor out here so that we can do more simplifying? 5 and 11. No, they don't have any common factors. Also be careful, don't be tempted to do, oh, well, x over x, those cancel, because this is not pure multiplication of factors. We have subtraction there, minus 11. We have subtraction here, minus 1. So we're not allowed to do that canceling. So this is as far as we can go. 5x minus 11 over x minus 1. The trick again, take the denominator of your rational expression, multiply it top and bottom by your non-rational part. That will give you matching denominators so you can combine. So that's mixed expressions.